Hi, everyone, and welcome to our last lesson for the week. Today, we're going to go ahead and do a check your progress. And so we're going to do the pages 611, 612 in your math book. And then we're going to turn around and I'm going to give you, which was in your packet, a check your progress type of assessment. So maybe you can take that into another room, try to do it by yourself, and see how well you're picking up on everything with time. So we're going to go ahead and get started. But I think to begin with, we want to start with a joke. Now, my jokes today are also going to be Easter related. And so let's go with the first one. The first one is this. Where does the Easter bunny eat breakfast? At IHOP. All right. How about this one? Oh dear, I gotta find a good one. That one wasn't very good. No, that's not very good either. I like this one. What kind of jewelry do rabbits wear? 14-karat gold. I like that a lot. Mr. Swint, did you hear that? 14-karat. Mrs. Swint likes that too. All right, so let's get started with check my progress. We always start with a vocabulary check. These words are important. You need to know minute, and you need to know that the minute hand is the longest hand. You need to know what an analog clock is. It's the one with the numbers. You need to know the hour hand is the short hand. A digital clock is what you're seeing on your cell phones, iPads, computers. And we need to know at this point what a half hour is. It's equivalent to. So let's get started. We know then 60 minutes is one. If your choice is up here, you know it's one. I hope you said hour because we've said this over and over. 1 hour to 60 minutes. So you need to put this answer right here. Number 2, 30 minutes. 30 minutes is one. What would 30 minutes be? 60 minutes isn't 1 hour. 30 minutes we know is a half hour. So Mrs. Swin's just going to draw lines to it right now. It's a little easier. 60 seconds. If I held my breath for 60 seconds, it's 1 minute. So we have minutes. Number 4, a blank uses only numbers to show time. If I'm not sure, now between the analog clock and the digital, I'm not going to guess. I'm going to read number 5. Let's use these test strategies. Number 5 says, and blank has an hour hand and a minute hand. There's a lot of clues here on this one. First of all, only one of those clocks have an hour hand and a minute hand. Also, the word an. Remember, and before a word, the next word's going to begin with a vowel. So, my friends, I know then an analog clock is going to be my number 5. And my digital clock is simply using numbers. It does not use a minute hand or an hour hand. Let's take a look at the bottom part here. It says tell what time is shown and write the time. So we take a look at this first clock. I first look at my hour because the hour comes first. The shorter hand comes first. I see a 10. So I know my hour is 10. And because the minute hand is up on the 12, I know it is 0. It's either at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. We're not sure. The next clock shows, again, I take a look at my hour hand first, the shorter hand. I go back. I haven't reached 5 yet, so I have to go back to the 4. I know then that this is 4, but my minute hand is halfway around the clock. So I know then this is going to be 4:30. Let's look at number 8. Number 8, we start with the hour hand. The hour hand is pointed to the 2. And again, No numbers have passed. No minutes have passed. I'm simply at 2 o'clock. About the time I like to take a nap in the afternoon. Let's turn the page. On the next page, it says draw the hands on each clock and write the time. If you have half past 8, we know the hour is 8. So I'm going to write that first in my digital clock. Half past, we know it. Complete hour is again 30 minutes or 60 minutes. So half past, I just gave you the answer, is 30. If I had to draw this clock with the hands, I know to use the clock where it's going to be showing me. Here's 8, 8:30. My minute hand is going to be on the 6. So the hour hand is halfway between the 8 and the 9, because we're not quite at 9. We're halfway past the hour. And my minute hand is going to be on the 6. So make sure your number 9 looks like my number line. How's that? Number 10 is 11 o'clock. Well, they're showing me my hour. So my hour is 11. And we know if it's o'clock that it's going to be no minutes here. 11 o'clock, very simple. Shorthand is going towards the 11, and my minute hand goes straight to the 12. Half past 1, if it's half past, my shorthand is between the 1 and the 2, and my minute hand is going to be at 6 because it's showing me it's half past, so it's 30 minutes past that hour at 1:30. Write the time. If we saw a time on a digital clock that said 7:30, I know it's half past 7. If you look at number 13 and you have a clock that simply says 1, well, if I looked at all the rest of them, this was 11 o'clock. So guess what this is going to be? It's going to be 1 o'clock. I'm just going to write the number 1 there. On our brain builders today, it says Kevin has 3 classes in a row. The first 2 classes are each 2 hours long. His third class is 1.5 hours long. Kevin's first class is at 7. When was last class be? So I got to figure out his last class. So we know he has 3 classes in a row. The first 2 are 2 hours long, each of them. And his third class is only 1.5 hours long. We know the first class starts at 7. So if I wanted to use my board here, my first class starts at 7. And then I would go ahead and the next 2 classes are each 2 hours. 7, 2 hours later would be 9. 2 hours later would be 11. So my classes are 7, 9, 11. And then the last class is said is an hour and a half. Well, if I'm at 11, another hour would be 12. And then 30 more minutes would be 12:30. So we've got, make sure you can see, 12:30 because we are going to go 1.5 hours. Your answer then is 12:30. And check it. Go back. Take a look at a clock. Make sure you've done it right. The class bell rings every 30 minutes. The first one rings at 8:30. What time will the fourth bell ring? So what they're doing is just what we did yesterday with patterns. And we love patterns. Remember, it's an easy way to solve your problems. Try the board. And we'll get started here. We've got the first bell that's going to ring at 8:30. That's my first bell. Second, third, fourth. Second, third, fourth. I know from my information here, the first one rings, and then we have every bell is 30 minutes after that. It's a half hour, every half hour. 8:30, 30 minutes later would be 9. 30 minutes after 9 o'clock is 9:30 or half past 9. And then 30 more minutes would be 10 or 10 o'clock. Your answer is 10. All right, my friends, go ahead, get started on your check your progress. Good luck. You'll do fine and have a wonderful weekend. Take care.